Greetings, I'm Suzanne Tidkmeyer from No Longer Quivering. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the issues of, cough drop, the issues of fundraising, money, and how it impacts Quiverfull. I'm dealing with a situation right now where I'm having people asking me to do a fundraiser for a former Quiverfull daughter. I would normally say yes, except I've learned the hard way through the years not to run fundraisers for anyone. I need to talk about money, how it impacts Quiverfull, how it impacts creators online, and explain a few things, especially why we now have at No Longer Quivering a zero fundraiser rule. That rule came about for a very specific reason. It's like that old Cyndi Lauper song, money changes everything. Money does change everything. When I first started with No Longer Quivering, it was fine. I'd run fundraisers for people routinely. What's happened through the years is I have run fundraisers for people who turned out to be scammers or to be semi-scamming. But what it boiled down to is, especially in Quiverfull, you see people that don't think they have to work for a living, that think that they can just ask for money and get it. It's a mindset that's actually in Quiverfull, that you're owed everything because you're a Christian, you got God's favor on you, so everybody else pays your freight. That's why you frequently see things like scamming for money. You see stuff like Jill Rodriguez making a huge meal out of food that came from the school lunch program that she was able to scam for free. That's why she scams for things like a discount on getting that kitchen of hers done. And she's not the only one. She's just one of many that does that. The thing about fundraisers is when you leave Quiverfull and you come out with that mindset that everybody else is supposed to pay you freight, it can go to some really strange places. I have participated in and seen fundraisers where someone said, oh, well, you didn't promote it right, or you did promote it right. You took my money, which is not true at all on any of that. We have had so much problems with people and money and fundraising at NLQ that I made the rule last year, no more fundraisers at all. I don't share anyone's fundraisers. The only time that I do an exception to that is that we see something horrible happen, like the turkey blast at the port. I will link to reputable aid agencies. That's it. Back when I first took over NLQ, one of the problems I had is that every now and then Vicki Garrison would show up with her hand out wanting me to give her money for some reason or other. Then she started asking me to do fundraisers for her, and I did. I did a number of them. One of them I busted my hump on, and I put in hours and hours of work, talked to many people, raised $26,000 to pay her credit card bills so she could keep her house. I did that willingly. But like I said, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of hassle and frustrations. And I noticed that Vicki didn't seem to be very thankful for the whole thing. And it just opened the door for her asking for more and more money and asking for more and more fundraisers. And that was the point where I decided I had to sever NLQ from Vicki Garrison, who started it, who I am grateful for, but I cannot continue to finance her lifestyle. So there's that. So I cut Vicki off. I hated to do that. I don't even talk to her anymore. And it's all because of money. Money changes everything. And she's not the only one. So I decided more than a year ago to cut off all fundraiser activities, to not participate in Patreon or a coffee cup or buy me a coffee or any of those fundraising things. I don't ask for money. I don't say, hey, buy a super chat, none of that, because I kind of feel like there's a place for that. There are people that do it and then do it well. But at some point it becomes ridiculous. I'm thinking, of course, of my least favorite video blogger who puts 9 or 10 commercials in each one of her videos, that begs for super chats, begs for money on Facebook, on her various accounts. When you start doing things for money, it changes the whole complexion of what you're doing. It suddenly becomes all about the fundraising and not a damn thing about your content or what you're doing. Some people just go right off the deep end. So right now I'm getting a lot of people requesting that I allow this former Quiverfull daughter to run their fundraiser through NLQ. Thank you. Hey, tickles. I'm so happy. Anyway, so I'm not going to do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I've seen her run fundraisers in the past that have gone sideways, where she's accused various people of taking the money. I don't do second gen Quiverfull children because they come with their own set of issues that I don't particularly understand or know well enough to actually be effective in advocating for them. That's more something that should happen with Ryan Stoller and Homeschoolers Anonymous, Libby Ann over at Lovejoy Feminism. They're involved with the second gen and with healing them. And that's really what they should be doing. And the other thing, it goes back to the constant fundraising. You see people, the same people are asking for money all of the time. And I just don't have time for that. I'm not rich, but, I'm comfortable. And I even give money to some of these people. But there's so many more important things to talk about than trying to raise money for everybody and their brother. That's just not my role, and it never will be. And I'm sorry to say that. And I also have to say a little bit about that movie yesterday that everybody was talking about, Cuties. It was horrific, but it was meant to be horrific. There's a problem in this country, well, in the U.S., with the sexualization of children. And it's actually starting to take place worldwide. That was the focus of the movie. It's horrific, but it did have a point. I wish they'd have left all the dance sequences out. It would have been a lot easier movie to stomach had they done that, but I understand why they didn't. And I really enjoyed at the very end when they were doing their nasty dance, which was almost the same as something that Nicki Minaj did in one of her videos. I mean, almost right down to all the moves. They showed all the women in the audience who were watching these poor girls dance with expressions of horror on their face. They were clamping their hands over the eyes of their children to prevent the children from looking. They showed the true horror of when you see a child that has been exploited and is way too sexually comfortable with what they're doing, that borderlines on porn. I mean, that's a problem we have in the States. We really need to make children off limits and to concentrate on ending sex slavery. And it does happen. Kids are trafficked all over the place. Teenagers are too. And to desexualize our culture. I love sex. I don't love seeing 11-year-olds behaving in a sexual fashion. It's just wrong all the way around. We need to clean up our acts, folks. And that's my little rant for today. Okay, I'll see you later. Hopefully I'll have something more pleasant to talk about than money, because like I said, money just screws up everything for everybody. I don't know why that is. I guess because it's more of a god than God is to a lot of fundamentalists. See y'all later.